Welcome back to Pursuit Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. If you can tell, it is freaking windy out here today, and I get a bunch of questions from you guys all the time asking about wind holds, how I calculate that. So we're going to take this opportunity, we're going to do a little bit of shooting, and we're going to do it in the wind on some steel. We're also going to go over some other shooting tips and tricks that I think is going to help you guys. Now, I am not the foremost expert in shooting. I am learning like everybody else, but there are some things that I do that help me on how I practice, how I shoot, how I prepare for things. So today's all gonna be about little tips and tricks, how to go about practicing, and all of that in the effort to become a better shooter tomorrow by practice today. As I told you guys before, first thing with practice is you can see I've got the Vudoo out here, and don't worry CZ guys, the CZ is not going anywhere. We're gonna start out with 10 rounds from the bench just to verify we have a decent enough zero and that our equipment is working. First things first, let's get this set up. We'll shoot 10 rounds. We'll do that on the scope cam. And then we're gonna move over to this mat. This was provided for the channel by our buddies over at Creedmoor Sports. I have no affiliations with them. I get no affiliate link for this mat. They just saw that I needed a mat and they sent it to me. So I've been testing and shooting off this for the last, I don't know, a couple weeks to a month, and it's an awesome product. So if you guys are looking for little things like that, go check those guys out. All right, I know a lot of you guys were really interested in this, so kind of show you today. This is like, this little deal is a clamp for the SIDESHOT. These little prongs just slide into that and lock in, which makes taking this on and off super duper easy. Slips on. I'll usually then go ahead and turn on the camera. It's not going to be perfectly aligned every time. I'll go ahead and start it up for you guys so you can see. So then I'm just going to kind of move this around until I get the best field of view. And I'll do this on max magnification. So it's on 29 power on the Cronus right now. That one looks good here. So we're just gonna shoot 10. Just to make sure. Not really super worried about, it grouping really well. Just want to see that it's realistically kind of close. And as you can see, the wind's moving the impacts to the right, which is fine. Super windy today. All right, so we got that out of the way. Now what we're gonna do is I wanna take another 10 shots and we are gonna move prone. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up the shooting lane and I'm gonna walk the targets out. And so we're gonna see how much we have to hold to hit those targets. And we'll talk a little bit about kind of how it works with the style of shooting that I do. So hopefully that'll help you. Oh boy, this wind is no joke today. All right. We're gonna back off the magnification a little bit. So for 50, considering what the wind's doing now, which is kind of off and on and largely moving left to right, we're just gonna favor left a little bit at 50. Yeah, there we go. All right, there's another target out there at 70. Now, I know that this is 1 mil, so we're just gonna hold this, or give or take 1 mil, we'll just hold it. Left edge. There we go. All right, let's go out and we'll dial this 1.8. These are gonna be right around 100 yards. Wind's not too bad, we'll hold left edge. There we go, 1.8 was a little high. We'll go to the spinner here. So, and let me give you a big field of view here. When we're shooting in PRS, we're not getting wind flags. You have to read basically the terrain in the natural environment. So as you can see out there right now, I'm shooting, I'm not holding much because it's pretty well calm. I mean, it's not really that bad. So In this situation, I wouldn't be holding much because I don't see much vegetation moving. We'll kind of leave that magnification backed off. See this target here, I think that should be around about 3 mils. That's about 123. I'm feeling the wind change where I'm shooting from right to left. So we will just give this guy a little bit. Okay, and that was the wrong wind call. So it's, even though I'm feeling the wind here coming right to left, it's still left to right out there. I missed that right. Let's just give not much hold. There we go, way high. All right, we'll move to this guy. We'll just hold over a little bit. There we go. So the wind's pretty calm out there. Let's go to 4 mils. So another common question that I get is about how I'm actually shooting, my shooting process. So let's shoot at the 150. The wind is pretty calm, which is killing the entire idea of this video. I mean, this is about shooting in the wind, and now the wind wants to calm down. A lot of people ask as, you know, how the shooting sequence goes for me. So I'm gonna cycle my next round, and basically I'm gonna start adjusting my rear bag, kind of settling down on the target, what I want my hold to be. As I'm getting the reticle on the target and settled, that's when I'm gonna start my breathing sequence, which is just basically, I take a good breath in, I start slowly exhaling, and then I'm gonna get to the bottom of that breath and then break the shot. So I don't completely exhale, but I don't breathe in and hold my breath, and I don't exhale all the air and hold my breath. You don't really wanna hold your breath. I'm slowly exhaling, and then I'm almost not even quite pausing as I get to the bottom of my breath. I'm just kind of slowly exhaling, very little at a time. And then by that time, I'm already prepping the trigger. So I know this is probably gonna sound pretty obvious. Let's go ahead and move out to, let's see, I'm gonna move out there to a 180. This is gonna sound pretty obvious, but if I wanna hit this wolf right here in the reticle, there's a few things that we need to do to hit that target. One, we need a somewhat accurate rifle. We need to know the dope, but those are all things, that's all data-driven things. But fundamentally, as a shooter, the sights need to be on the target if all the other requirements are met. Sights on the target, and we need a trigger pull that's not gonna take the sights off the target, and a good follow-through that's gonna allow for that bullet to stay on course. So fundamentally, that's what you need, is the rifle pointed at the target, staying on the target, and then a good pull. If you do those things, you're gonna hit the target if all the other data stuff is good. All right, so one important thing for wind calling, well, I have this dialed in to kind of show you guys. That's a bad idea when you're shooting targets at multiple distances. You really, let's go. I would probably run this if I had to shoot all these at about 12 power, which is right around here, because if you look through the scope cam, I'm able to see so much more of the environment. So even though I'm feeling a wind here right now, I can see out there the wind is really not doing much. And bam, the target's hit. So enough of the prone shooting. Get the ladder set up. We'll talk about a little positional shooting. We'll show that in the scope cam as well. All right, so when we get off the mat and the bench, stability and shooting positions become a lot more important, and technique becomes a lot more important. So we're gonna use the same bag. And for those of you who have asked, this is the Game Changer pint size with a heavy fill. So when we look at something like this and we're looking at shooting off something like this, basically what we're looking at is a change in elevation and a change in how we need to support the rifle during shooting. So we'll start high and go low. A big thing with shooting like this is get your body, especially when you're standing more or less, get your body squared up to the target so that you have stability. And I kind of like to kind of bias my weight forward, almost lock my legs behind me. And this may change person to person. We'll get in here and get somewhat stable, and we're gonna shoot the bigger one. This is where your reticle being still and you being stable and breaking a good clean shot is really going to come into play, because it's going to get more and more important as you go to be able to break a clean shot without imparting much movement on the rifle. So traditionally here I would use what they call a pillow bag, something to fill the cavity right here between my shooting position. So I can't quite put my elbow down on my knee, which is what I really want. So I would use a large bag to fill this gap to make me more stable, but we don't have that with us today, so we're just gonna make do. See what we can do here. So not too bad. We'll take one more from this position. There's a smaller guy there. So in this position, I'm sitting on my left leg, but I have my right leg up underneath me, and I'm using my knee to support my arm on the rear of the rifle. Now I'm kind of like fully extended and on my tiptoes. A little bit of wind. No problem there. You know what, let's see if we can hit that 1/4 inch target. Let's give it some more magnification. I can't even really see that guy. We'll go to 20 power. Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of movement in this guy. And I'm not gonna lie to you, that was probably all luck. All right, we'll shoot a few more from over here. We're shooting off the bench. What we're gonna do is go 50. We're gonna shoot all the targets we shot from prone, but now we're gonna shoot them from this position and see how we do. We're gonna need a lot less magnification here. This one I'm gonna hold 1 mil. So I'm gonna hold this guy just under 2 mils. Get some parallax in there for you guys so you can see. Gonna hold this guy about 3 mils. Hold this guy about 3.5. We'll dial for our first one out there at 150. Oof. All right, miss. Give it a little magnification, and I did not see it. Missed a wind call, I think it's right to left. Nope. Yeah, and this is a real problem with PRS shooting when you're shooting steel and you can't see your miss. Let's go all the way out to 180. See if we can get on that woof. There we go, I can see those. All right, so I know that was a pretty different kind of video. We just did some shooting, a little bit of talking. If you like the video, throw me down a comment and maybe throw down a question there. There's something that we can cover down here. I'd like to do these, like I said, every few weeks where we just talk about shooting and practice and answer some of your guys' questions, and hopefully it helps you out and gives you a more realistic idea of what actually goes into shooting these targets. So this is kind of a bad example, but I do have an upcoming video where we'll be using the Vudoo because I need to get dope on this if I'm actually gonna ever use this in competition. I promise I'm shooting CZ content this week. The CZ is still the primary rifle on this channel. CZ guys, hang in there with me. Anyways, all that being said, I appreciate all your continued support. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know too. But either way, I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.